Hello, Bala. Bala, okay. Meeting room. Photo. From the join go first. Bala. Bala. No, yes. Am I audible?
Yes, sir.
Hello.
Yes, sir.
Sir, good afternoon, sir.
Very good afternoon. Very good afternoon. How are you?
Sir.
Audio clear, ka?
Pardon, sir?
Audio clear? Clear, ka?
Yes, sir. Very clear, sir. Very clear, sir.
Sorry.
Sir, we will start at 3 p.m., sir. Principal will give a small introductory note, sir.
Okay.
Start பண்ணிடலாமா 3 மணிக்கு
Just now we have completed a heads meeting, sir. That's why it's a little delayed. Yeah, it's over just 2 minutes before.
Okay, okay. I'll wait. No problem. Clash.
viewers, this is a shocking reality, and I want to go straight across to both Shabir and
பேசுங்க உப்புதான் பேசுங்க இது பிரின்சிபல்
அன்மியூட் பண்ணுங்க பிரின்சிபல். இங்கேயே அன்மியூட் பண்ண முடியாதா நம்ம?
அவங்க மீட் போட்டுருக்காங்க நம்ம கேட்கணும்.
சரி
அவங்க சிஸ்டத்துல மீட் போட்டுருக்கு. இப்போ பண்ணிட்டாங்க
சார். அன்மியூட் ஆயிடுச்சுங்க சார். இப்போ நான் ஸ்டார்ட் பண்றேன். ஓகே சார், தேங்க்யூ சார்.
என்ன சொல்லுங்க. பாலா யூடியூப்ல அவ்வளோ சொல்லிடுங்க.
Sir, one thing you confirm that some of the registered candidates, they are feeling some difficulty in getting connections.
Hello sir.
Are you able to hear, sir?
Yes sir, yes sir.
Some of the registered faculty, they are not able to get connected. Please look into it.
Yes sir, I asked the team to look into it, sir.
Please
Some
ask
of the
the
faculty members not able to get connected on. Just check it. The link illam check pannu. Sir, they are working on it, sir. Yes sir, it will be rectified, sir.
They telephoned to us, to the college they had called, asked.
Oh, okay sir, okay sir, okay sir.
So good afternoon to everybody. Sir, on behalf of Psna College of Engineering and Technology, I welcome all the registered participants. I welcome Dr. Seduraman. Welcome, sir.
Welcome. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Good afternoon.
Yes, good afternoon, sir. Good afternoon to all. And this is really a timely program for us, because now the days have come on Knack accreditation. They made Knack as a mandatory accreditation process to get autonomous status and also to get funding from UGC. And in a coming decade, mostly all the colleges have to undergo this accreditation process. Otherwise, it will be very difficult for them to exist, because everyone is marching towards autonomy now. So this program and as well as the title on which the lecture is going to take place is a timely one. I request all the attendees and our faculties in particular to make use of the program and grab the maximum things available. Thank you very much. Now I ask Dr. Jagannathan to give a broad introduction on the guest as well as the program.
Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you very much, sir. Thank you,
sir.
Principal,
Welcome,
sir.
Thank you.
Very good afternoon, all of you. Indeed, it's a great pleasure for us to organize this webinar on revised accreditation framework of Knack for higher educational institutions. Today, we have our guest, Professor Dr. M.G. Seduraman, sir, is available here for delivering the talk. In fact, if we see Indian higher education system stands next to China and USA and standing third in terms of number of higher educational institutions. So maintaining quality or in this higher educational institution is big challenge for India as such. So in this category, recently Knack has revised its methodology of assessment from peer-based assessment to ICT data-driven methodology-based assessment. So which is considered as a paradigm shift in the Indian higher education scenario. So as such, this is gaining a lot of momentum because almost 70% of the process which is being followed in the accreditation process is transparent. And so we have to understand all these things in a first hand so that we can produce better data and we can be getting good score for the Knack either in the first cycle or second cycle or third cycle. So with this in mind, of course, COVID has given us a lot of opportunities to meet and spend some time. Suddenly, I had seen a lot of programs on this Knack and higher educational academy and institutions. So because faculty members are now free to listen, so this is a wonderful time for all of us to listen from the horse mouth. And so we have, let me introduce our respected professor, Dr. M.G. Seduraman, professor of chemistry, currently is working as professor of chemistry and director, research and development of Gandhigram Rural Institute. He is also served as former director of IQAC, the Gandhigram Rural Institute of Gandhigram for more than 8 years and has brought a lot of laurels to the IQAC of Gandhigram Rural Institute. He has 30 years of teaching experience and 34 years of research experience. Professor Seduraman has published 130 research articles in leading international journals with good impact factors. He has delivered more than 342 invited talks in various national and international conferences, both in India and abroad. Professor Seduraman has completed 8 research projects worth around 5.27 crores towards research grants. And he is the recipient of the Muscat National Award 2018 of the Electrochemical Society of India. So he was the head of the Department of Chemistry for 3 years and served as IQAC coordinator for 8 years, as I already said. He also served as the member of the Interim Administrative Committee, discharging the functions of Vice Chancellor during the year 2008 and 9. As a director of IQAC, he successfully steered the Gandhigram Rural Institute to get A grade in Knack accreditation during the second and third cycle. And he is the recipient of Institutional Social Responsibility Award of GRI from Honorable Vice President of India in recognition of the outstanding contribution made as Director IQAC. So we are very happy to welcome you, sir, and accepted our request to deliver the talk during this webinar. So we are very grateful to you. And I welcome our principal, sir, Dr. Vasudevan, sir, and all other members, dear participants. I wish you all having a great time during this webinar. Thank you all. Now I hand over the session to Professor Seduraman, sir.
Very good afternoon to all of you. Professor Vasudevan, Dr. Jagannathan, my good friend Balasubramaniam, and all others of, colleagues of PSNA College of Engineering Technology. A very good afternoon to all of you. We are indeed very happy to be here in this platform to discuss about the revised accreditation framework of Knack. Now let me go to my PowerPoint because I just want to finish it sharp at 3:55. Let us not waste time. But Knack has become a necessary evil. Believe it or not, whether we like it or not, we need to have Knack. But for Knack, many colleges would not have gone even for whitewashing. So that is the bitter truth. So Knack has made us work and it is really needed. And but for Knack, probably we will not be really conscious about the quality aspects of the education, because unfortunately quality is a casualty here. Now, quality education, what is it all about? You may ask me. It is to provide all learners with capabilities to become economically productive. Secondly, then we have to develop sustainable livelihood. Third is contribution to peaceful democratic society. And fourth one is enhance individual or societal well-being. So this is all the quality education all about. What is the concept of higher education? If you look at the concept of higher education, they say it is viewed as the production of qualified human resources. We need to produce qualified human resources for the development of this country. Please remember one thing: if development has to take place, it can take place only through education. And if it has to take place through education, am I audible? Any disturbance?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. No disturbance.
Okay. Okay. Anyway, so production of qualified human resources. So if at all a country has to develop, it can develop only through through the education, and educational institutions really play a role. Then training for the research career. Now we need to have the training for the research career. This is again, innovation has become the order of the day. Unless we have innovations, we cannot have development at all. And then it has become a matter of concern for the management of teaching profession. Again, now you have about 10,000, at least universities in this country. And if you look at the kind of teachers you have, we need to efficiently manage them. That is one thing. And then matter of extending career opportunities. Gone are the days where we said that teaching, research, and extension are the three dimensions of education. Now placement has become the fourth dimension of education. So we need to extend opportunities, career opportunities to students. Now what exactly happens? Next, functions of higher education. Now, what do you mean by quality? One is we have to be really excellent, outstanding. We have to be exceptionally good. Then providing value for the money. A boy pays a huge amount as a fees. Now he expects something in back in return. So he says, is it worth the money that I'm paying as a fees? He's asking. That is a third. Then conforming to specifications. Every third day UGC comes out with a new regulation. AICT comes with a new regulation. MHRD comes with a new regulation. So we have to conform to all specifications. Getting things right the first time, we have to prioritize and act. Meeting customers' needs, that's another thing. So, diverse needs are there, especially post-COVID scenario. You need a lot of, new, ventures. I do not know how many of you know. They say that 17 industries have vanished. I do not know how we are going to cope up with a changing scenario. And then having zero defects, there will not be any defect. There should not be any defect at all. The system should be defect free. Providing added value, that is another thing. Now, suppose if the boys are asking, we don't want really BTech or BE, we want BE plus or BTech plus. To that extent, they expect something in return. Exhibiting fitness for purpose. Now, suppose if an autonomous college like PSNA gives, if you are going for an autonomous college, or if you are going for an autonomy, if some college is giving first class, now people are asking, is it worth? Is it really worth? Or just the marks are boosted and the first class degree is given? This is what actually happens, because there is a fierce competition among colleges to boost the marks. Okay, of course they have to retain their admission. There are so many things which actually pressurize the colleges. And these days, getting admission itself has become a big challenge for the institutions. One. And then why should we emphasize on quality? One is competition. There is a rat race. There is a rat race for getting the good students, for getting the good faculty members, for delivering goods. So competition is one. Second is customer satisfaction. Now students have to be satisfied. Teachers have to be satisfied. There's other stakeholders like employers and the parents have to be satisfied, maintaining standards. Now, this is another thing. Now, we say that of late, only 16% of the Indian students are employable. Engineering graduates mostly are unemployable. Now, should we not make ourselves accountable? Who should be blamed for that? As teachers, can we say that it is not coming within our purview? Can we wash off our hands and say that it is nothing to do with us? It is the boy's headache. He has to become employable and it is nothing to do with me. Can we say like that? We can't. Improve employee morale and innovation. Now, this is another thing. The teachers have to be happy. We are insisting on H index for the researcher, but I am insisting on happiness index of the employees. Suppose if under the management, if the employee is working, if they are not happy, do you think the institution will grow? It will not. And innovation has to be there. There should be continuous change. There is only thing that is permanent is change. And we need to actually improve upon. We need to innovate. So innovation has to be the order of the day. Credibility should be there. Any degree which the college gives, it should have credibility. Image should be there. College should have visibility. All these things are actually needed. How exactly the higher education system goes in this country? You may ask me. If you see the trend, I would say that the demand for higher education is expanding rapidly. Now, gone are the days we had only very few institutions. Now, the number of candidates who are entering into the portals of higher education institutions have increased tremendously, phenomenally. There is a phenomenal explosion of number of higher education systems. Gone are the days we had only one St. Joseph's College, one Presidency College, one Christian College, one Pachevas College, very few colleges like that. Now, if you take a walk in OMR, there are 150 institutions. Every street corner in Tamil Nadu has got two things. One is a beauty parlor, another is a self-financing engineering college. To that extent, both have proliferated in this part of the world. Then, by 2020, 40% of the global workforce will be knowledge workers. They say that India is going to lead. If India is going to become the knowledge superpower, is it not our responsibility to train our students so that they really excel? Should we not really walk an extra mile to see that we deliver the goods so that they are able to become what? The leaders in this world. Qualities, of course, very sadly, I must mention, is the biggest casualty in the entire process. Look at the challenges. You have to make education accessible to as many people as possible. Second, we have to ensure that the quality of education which we provide is worthwhile. Third is we have to provide education at an affordable cost. Of course, you all must be knowing that the volume of students in this country is increasing exponentially. Number of institutions are growing up like anything. The level of public funding is also increasing like anything. Now, what are the challenges that we have? One is effort taken has resulted in increase in the enrollment. Now, about 29% is the gross enrollment ratio as far as this country is concerned, which should really increase to 42%. Then the challenges remain in access to higher education, which is less than the minimum threshold level, because the world level, threshold level is 42%, and we are lagging again with 29%. We need to increase our, gross enrollment ratio. Now, if you look at the challenges that we have, the distribution of institution is skewed. In one part of the country, we have 150 colleges in one single road. Somewhere else, if you look at the number of institution in the radius of 15 to 20 kilometers is less than even one. Enrollment in public universities is concentrated in conventional disciplines. But if you look at a self-financing institution, they are going ahead with starting of programs even in unconventional discipline, market-driven discipline, quality of education, less said is better. Are we providing the relevant education? That is what people are asking. We are simply aping the West. Even after decades of introduction of choice-based credit system, your CBCS remains only a SCIAS-based confusion system. There is no choice either given to the students nor to the staff members. Your CBCS only remains as a choice-based credit system on paper with no choice at all. That is what is really happening. Then, if you look at the performance of the higher education institutions at global level, there is no place of any Indian institution in the world level. If you look at the Asian level, one or two institutions of this country occupies 24th place. And if you look at the B schools, there are no B school of Indian origin, which is in the top 25 B schools. So there is low ranking in the relative global scale. All this is a matter of concern. Should we not be worried about it? Now, if you look at the Knack framework, Knack actually has 5 of these things. One is the contributing for national development. Though as a self-financing institution, we may be having our own pressure to start an discipline. Okay, but Knack expects us to have our programs aligned with national development. Are we contributing for the national development? I used to always tell this example. Suppose if you're taking Sivakasi, I'm not talking about the movie, I'm talking about the place. It is famous for 2 things. One is your patas, cracker. The other one is your printing technology. How many colleges there in Sivakasi are actually offering programs on cracker or pyrotechnics or on printing technology? Very few. Why? Because we are not really worried about the manpower requirement of that region. Okay. So how are we contributing for the national development? That is the first thing that Knack asks. Second is fostering global competencies. Please remember, ladies and gentlemen, we are not preparing our graduates for Karatarahambatti, but for Canberra. We are not, preparing our candidates for Hubli, but for Houston. So we'll have to foster global competencies among students. Then inculcating values system among students. You all know that presently with Android telephone, systems and all that, the values are going for a 6. So there is no value at all. But Knack expects us to inculcate value system among the students. Promoting the use of technology. Students are much better than the teachers. Teachers are not very well versed with the technology. Teachers are digital immigrants. Students are digital natives. They are much better than the teachers even in the use of technology. Then quest for excellence. Of course, excellence. The access, equity, expansion are the slogans. Excellence is the last slogan of UGC. Of course, probably it is not emphasized upon. Then revised assessment accreditation framework. Now, if you look at the revised, Knack has revised their accreditation framework twice. The recent, revision, if you look at, there is a change from a peer judgment, qualitative peer judgment to data-based quantitative evaluation. People are asking for data. Unfortunately, we are not very efficient in maintaining data. Probably, if the HOD goes, probably he takes the data also along with him sometimes. There are many institutions which really are not able to gather the data at all. So when Knack is asking for evidences for placement, for other things and all that, many times we are not able to provide at all. So data has to be conserved and it has to be placed before the accreditation agency. That is one. Second is there is a simplification of the process. Earlier we had 300 plus questions. Now it is only 120 to 130 questions. Now, even if for the peer team visit to take place, we need to have a pre-qualifier. Only if you get 30% marks in the quantitative evaluation, the peer team will visit. If you are not able to get 30% even, the peer team will not visit your institution at all. Then introduction of a system-generated score with online evaluation. Data-based evaluation is 70% weightage. Your peer team visit carries a weightage of only 30%. So if we think that we can give them Hyderabad biryani to Amber biryani and then show up, many times we will be only disappointed because it is only the computer G which actually awards the score. We have to be really worried about. Then third, the next one is the introduction of a third-party validation of data. Now people used to say when the peer team comes, we used to show a journal which actually is published from Silkwar Patti and say that this is International Journal of Civil Engineering, Criminology, Agricultural Engineering, Sociology, and it carries an impact factor of 74.4, like that. Now they are asking for validating the data. Is it Scopus indexed? Is it a Web of Science index? Such things are being asked. We are not often able to convince them. So as a result of which we lose our marks. And then what is the next thing that we do? Now, if you look at the criteria for the Knack, there are 7 criteria. Curricular aspects is the first criteria. Teaching, learning, and evaluation is the second criterion. Third one is the research, innovation, extension. Earlier we had consultancy. Now it is actually changed to innovation. The fourth criterion is infrastructure and learning resources. Fifth criterion is student support and progression. Sixth one is governance, leadership, and management. Of course, seventh one is the institutional values and best practices. If you look at the seventh one, it is actually again a modified one. Earlier, this was not there. Now it has come in a different form. So there is actually a change in the third and the seventh criteria. Now you may ask me, what do they actually expect out of in these 7 criteria? Let me just go into this. This is a distribution of metrics and the key indicators across the criteria. If you look at for various institutions, it's like this. For universities, autonomous colleges, then for UG affiliated college, PG affiliated college. So it is like that. For all this, it is only 7 criteria. Of course, the number of key indicators change. If it is autonomous college, you have 34 key indicators. If it is an affiliated college, you have 31 key indicators. For a PG, postgraduate, courses, running affiliated college, it is 32. Then qualitative metrics, it has about 35 qualitative metrics for autonomous college and 36 for your PG affiliated college. And quantitative metrics, 72 for the autonomous college, 58 for UG, and 60 for a PG affiliated college. So if you look at the total metrics, it is 107 for autonomous college, 93 for a UG college, 96 is actually for a PG college. Please remember one thing, Knack has become a mandatory criterion. If you want to go for autonomy, unless you get 3.0 as a minimum score, you will not be eligible to be awarded autonomous status at all. And another thing is, affiliation also may probably be cancelled after some time if you fail to get the proper score in the Knack. Now let me tell you what exactly do they expect in each of these criteria. The first one is curricular aspects. Now, this is one thing. Basically, our institutions are teaching institutions. There are 3 mandates of higher education: knowledge dissemination, knowledge updation, knowledge generation. Now, what is actually taking place in a classroom is knowledge dissemination. Now, what is that we do? We design a curriculum on our own. We develop a curriculum and offer. Of course, how do you develop your curriculum? On the basis of the feedback from the existing students, on the basis of the feedback from the peers, on the basis of the opinion of the experts. As a teacher, we also have some kind of vision. So we put everything into and then come out with a curriculum. Please remember one thing, it should match with the international criteria. For example, I do not know how many of you know that there is a buzzword which is going on now, IR 4.0, Industrial Revolution 4.0. As an engineering institution, how many of us are really aware of the education 4.0 which is being insisted upon? Across the country, many engineering colleges have started implementing education 4.0 curriculum. Even for a civil engineering, they have started introducing industry-oriented courses. And apart from that, they have courses like, for example, artificial intelligence, big data analytics, then you have augmented reality, then forecasting, optimization technique, disaster management, such things. So which means that normally when a committee, when NBA committee or your Knack committee comes, we say that we are producing industry-ready graduates, job-ready graduates. Often we don't even recognize what the industrial needs are, what the industry needs. Okay, so that is the kind of situation. The complaint is the teachers working in self-financing engineering colleges have not seen even the compound wall of an industry. So that is the kind of complaint that is actually placed before us. So are we really responding to the need of the industry? That is what is actually asked. Then how do we plan the curriculum and implement the curriculum? Are we able to give the lecture schedule beforehand? How do we actually, break the entire 5 units of the syllabus into small pieces? And how do we actually implement the curriculum? What kind of planning we have got? And then is there any, flexibility? We say that it is choice-based credit system. But is there any flexibility to the students? Across the discipline, can they take any course? Okay, within the discipline, can they actually take any course they like? What is the kind of criteria that we impose for a student to take his own choice, elective of his own choice? So academic flexibility is one. And then what is the kind of courses that we have? Do we have course on professional ethics? We have on gender equality. Do we have courses on environmental? Okay, so such things are also being asked. And please remember one thing, in the next session of Parliament, we will have a new education policy implemented. Okay, passed. So naturally, we will have in the new education policy a new curriculum. And it is very likely that it may not be electrical engineering, be electronics engineering and all that. We may probably have BE general engineering. Like what we have in countries like Malaysia and some of the European countries, we may probably have a BE in general engineering. As of now, a boy who is doing BE metallurgy goes for a software engineering, which has nothing to do with metallurgy at all. So this is the kind of scenario that we have. So to have these evils, okay, driven away from the present scenario, people are trying to impose a new kind of what? Curriculum. I do not know how many of you have seen that from the next academic year, the institutions are permitted to offer dual degree. Along with BTech, the boy can choose an economics course also. Along with BTech in computer science, he can choose a degree in commerce also. So there is going to be a dual degree. Many engineering colleges probably will have humanities disciplines also in the coming years, because it is not going to be a single discipline institution from the next academic year. We are in for a big change. Let us be prepared for the change and let us welcome the change also, if it is going to be really useful to the students and to the country. And then feedback system. Now it is a ritual to get feedback from the students. And are we implementing any of the recommendations of the feedback? I do not know. But Knack is insisting on the feedback. Does the feedback, how do you analyze the feedback? What is the kind of action that is taken on the feedback? All such things are being asked. It is about the first criteria, 150 marks for an autonomous college. And if it is an affiliated college, or whether it is a UG or PG, it is 100 marks. And you need to get at least 80 if you want to get a grade. I don't know, on a 4-point scale, so 100 into 4 will be 400 marks for this. And if you want to get A grade, at least you must get not less than 360. Please remember that. So you please have flexibility, enrichment, feedback, and planning, curricular planning done in a best possible way. The second criteria is in teaching, learning, and evaluation. Now, what kind of students are getting enrolled? Are they from the same state or from other states? How exactly and are you even the bank has got a know your customer? Does your college have know your student strategy? What is the kind of analysis you do on the student's profile? What do you do with the profile? Okay, do you analyze the profile? Do you actually get to know the aspirations and needs of the students? Accordingly, do you design your program, a bridge course, or any other course as per their needs? That is what is actually asked. So 40 marks for the student enrollment and profile. Secondly, all students actually do not have the same kind of inclination or interest. They will have diverse interests. The students are from diverse backgrounds also. Some of them are from rural, some of them are from urban, some of them will be from English medium, many will be from Tamil medium. So some would have studied in CBSE, some would have studied in state board. So students will be from diverse background. We need to actually cater to the each and every category. Now, what is the theme with majority of the self-financing colleges becoming coaching centers and only tutorial colleges, education takes a back seat. So what exactly happens is we concentrate only on examination and the result, as a result of which learning does not really take place at all. Beyond the examination, we don't sometimes think at all, because management also insists only on result rather than on learning. So, but Knack is asking, what are the special courses you offer to address the needs of the students? In a class, there may be 5 or 6 students. Do you have a care for a clever program? Do you have a remedial program for a weak students? But in India, what we do is we concentrate only on weak students. If some student is not doing well in mathematics, we have 2 tuitions. Okay, make him concentrate only on his weakness. Okay, and we don't make him concentrate on his strength at all. So what efforts the institution is taking to cater to the diverse needs of the student, that is given 50 points for it. So you must have enough and more avenues in the college to cater to the needs of these students. Only then you will have 50. So in a 4-point scale, you should get 200 points for it. So at least 180, 160 you must be able to get if you want to aim for A+. Then teaching learning process. We say ours is primarily a teaching institution. Chalk and talk is the only thing which is happening. Of course, we are not able to make even a powerful point. And the Knack is insisting on PowerPoint. Of course, there are institutions which do not have even plug point in the class. This is what is really happening. Of course, with COVID-19, there is a lot of change. Overnight, these institutions have started using online platforms. Webinars have become the order of the day. Every other day, the teachers are bored with webinars. From morning to evening, it has become web boring now to that extent that students and teachers are bored. So social distancing becoming the norm, students probably have to be trained on how to actually speak face to face with others. So that is going to be the order of future. I don't know, that will be the new normalcy also. But what are the diverse teaching practices that we have? Of course, if you ask me what are the diverse teaching practices, I'll say active learning, cooperative learning, project-based learning, game-based learning, then what? Case studies, role play. And there are at least 12 or 13 flipped classrooms. There are problem solving. Okay, so there are umpteen number of teaching practices available. But unfortunately, other than teaching, other than your chalk and talk, we don't really concentrate much. Another thing is majority of teachers only dictate notes in the class. So people believe in only dictatorship. They don't believe probably in democracy in education also. Dictation becomes the order of the day. Of course, if you ask about the teacher profile and quality, attrition rate in a self-financing college is much more. But they are asking what is the average percentage of experienced teachers in the same institution. How many teachers are actually retained? How many teachers are PhD holders? How many teachers are actually having other graduation, NET and SLET, such qualifications they are asking. So it is not enough if you have expertise. Teachers with expertise, you should also have with experience. So teacher quality and teacher profile carry 60 marks. So if the institution has PhD holders, maximum number of PhD holders, probably they'll be able to have maximum marks. So many of the engineering institutions are retaining only PhD hands, and non-PhD hands are not really welcome because there is a mark for it. So only such of those teachers with PhD qualification will be able to fetch marks. So they'll only be recruited in future also. Then evaluation process. We need to have a transparent evaluation process in place. There should be examination reforms. There must be online examination. You should be able to, complete and say the results. If it is an autonomous college, there are institutions which are able to give within about 6 days. Shastra University, with a student strength of nearly 20,000, is able to come out with the result on the 10th day. And if you look at the SRM University, they say that in 15 days, the results are actually out. To that extent, the evaluation process is actually hastened. And what is the system that you have for an internal examination? Is it based only on the test? You cannot have one size fit all type of examination for everybody. You must have varied systems of assessment. What are the varied assessment strategies that you have in the institution? They are asking. So that all carries 30 marks. So you must be able to have this 30 marks scored. Now, if you look at the next one, student performance and learning outcomes, about 50 marks for this again. And they are asking what is actually we all say that we are following outcome-based education. What is the performance? How many students have gone out with the first class, with distinction, etc. And then student satisfaction survey. Earlier, we used to train a batch of students and parade them before the Knack peer team, and we trained them at least for a month. Now that's all gone. The final year students are actually, we have to supply the email ID of the students to the Knack. Knack will randomly choose and give email. There will be 21 questions. So 20 questions will be on the basis of what? Like something like MCQ. 21st question he has to answer in a sentence. So the student satisfaction survey has to be done. Please remember one thing, unless you get at least 1,000 students reflecting back on this, you will not get full score. Again, another thing is, if you are submitting the SSR by online at 6 p.m., at 6:01, the student satisfaction survey will start. I know many institutions which have not verified even the email ID of the students. They have just like that forwarded, and as a result of which they have lost marks in the student satisfaction survey. So let us be very careful. We'll have to conduct mock satisfaction survey twice or thrice. So we have to be a little careful. We'll have to sensitize the students on them. Only then we'll be able to get 60 marks. So 350 marks for teaching learning. If you don't get 350 marks in the second criteria, you cannot dream of getting a grade at all. Please remember one thing. If you want to get a grade, please see that you get maximum in the second grade. Second criteria, because we say that ours is primarily a teaching institution, and if a teaching is going to become a casualty, and if you are not going to get any marks at all, it is going to be a laughing stock. Please remember that you have to get maximum in the second criterion. Third is promotion of research and facilities. Now, how do we promote? Do we give seed money? Please remember one thing, higher education institution should have research component. Teaching without research is like food without salt. So you need to have encouragement for research. Management should give some kind of seed money for research, okay, for doing some innovation, and research mobilization for research. Now, you cannot expect managements alone to give money. You'll have to also apply for projects. Like there are SERB projects. Okay, DST is giving out. ICMR is coming. ICSSR is there. CSIR is there. DRDO is there. So many, about 27 funding agencies are in India are there. And we have to probably apply for grants. You will not get a grant if you immediately apply for. You should have enough and more credentials. You should have at least had about 10 papers in that particular area. So 10 research publications, quality publications, Web of Science indexed publications, or Scopus index publications in that particular area. That is what is actually needed. Then innovation ecosystem. Now we are saying that we are making industry-ready graduates and all that. Now with such systems like Startup India, Make in India, Skill India and all that, the government of India is actually insisting on the kind of innovations. Do you host hackathons? Are our students actually bagging prizes in hackathons? Now what do you have an innovation development council inside? Do we have an entrepreneur development cell inside? How many startups we are having inside the campus? Probably PSNA will have another 2-3 startups in 1 year, at least for the knack's sake. It is needed. Professor Vasudevan will take probably enough and more steps for having startups. 32 startups are there in Kongu Engineering College. I was shown by the principal of Kongu Engineering College when I visited very recently. Now, research publications and awards. Now, look at this. Again, it is not publish or perish. That was a slogan. Now it is publish, flourish, and cherish. Now, please remember that we have to have quality publications. We need to have publications in Scopus index journals, Web of Science index journals. But of course, it is a katavartai for most of us. So we don't really have publications. We have sometimes only the paid publications in predatory journals. Please discourage predatory journal publication. Have publications in UGC listed journals, CARE listed journals, okay, SCI journals, Scopus index journals. So quality publication should be there. What is the H index of the institution? They are asking. They are concerned about the impact factor of the journals. What is the citation index of individual as well as of the institution? All that they are actually asking. So research quality metrics has become the criterion. So you must publish in high impact factor journals. So only then you will have high citations, and only then the H index of the institution and the individual will increase. So have greater H index, other bibliometric index also. Then we need to generate consultancy. An engineering institution should earn money through consultancy. Unfortunately, many institutions are not able to really generate money out of consultancy. I visited Guntur College very recently on Knack related assessment, an engineering college, where I was told the mechanical engineering department in 1 year could get about 32 lakhs as consultancy. A single department, mechanical department, generating 32 lakhs as consultancy. That is the kind of consultancy revenue that institutions are generating. I do not know. Probably PSNA must be generating much more than the Guntur College. That's a different thing. Then extension activities. See, extension is the third dimension of education. We need to extend our knowledge. What kind of extension activities do we have? Subject oriented. Don't please think that only NSS will do, NCC will do, ERC will do, Red Ribbon Club will do, and all that. Every department should also have an extension, subject related extension activity. Okay, so that carries about 60. What marks that you are losing in research, you should be able to have that scored in the extension activity. Each department, they should do one extension activity per month. If there are 10 departments, 10 extension activity in a month. For 10 months, it should be 100. For 5 years, it should be 500. So you should have an invitation. You must have the activity photographs or video and other documents, everything. They also ask for the impact of the extension activities also. So you'll have to study the impact. So all these are actually very much required. See that you score more in extension so that you can make up for the loss that you have incurred in the research. Then collaboration. This is again a collaboration within the departments, among the departments, among the institutions. Now what do? We have MOUs. We arrange for a function and sign an MOU. But Knack is asking for functional MOU. Okay, how many activities have taken place in each of the MOU? They are asking. Unfortunately, we stop with signing the MOU. There are not much of activities. Plus, please remember, unless you have activities in the MOU, it cannot be counted as collaboration. Joint seminar, joint workshop, joint conferences, joint training programs, okay, placement, okay, for English. And so for, you can have collaboration for, several other things also. Joint publication can be there. Joint project can be there. So, MOU for internship, MOU for training, MOU for the campus placement, all that can be there. So have as many MOUs as possible so that you are able to have the 20 marks. So 120 marks for a PG college, 110 for a UG college, 150 for an autonomous college. That is going to be the weightage for 3. Then fourth is infrastructure. So you must have good physical facilities. Library should be there. It is not enough if you have a good library. There should be enough and more number of people walking into the library. If you look at the number of faculty members visiting the library, sometimes it is in single digit. Why? Because faculty members never visit library. Okay, that is one thing. And then again, how many of our students visit library? Unless we force the students, they don't go to the library at all, because this is an Android age. People get everything in the Android. That's another problem. IT infrastructure. What is the kind of infrastructure you have? People were asking about teacher-student ratio. Now people are asking about student-computer ratio. How many servers are there? What is the bandwidth speed? Okay, how many systems are there? Where is actually the stock register? Where is the purchase pro forma? And can you submit all the bills? Such things are actually asked. So you'll have to maintain proof for every activity. You have to upload along with SSR. Otherwise, you will not get the required grade at all. Please remember, after the submission of SSR, there will be data verification validation. Sometimes some colleges have got 100 seats for this 7 criteria and key aspects. As many as 150 questions have come for some. So you should be very careful in giving the evidences. Then maintenance of campus infrastructure. How do you maintain the campus campus infrastructure? Do you have an estate officer? Do you have annual maintenance contract? How do you maintain your laboratories, classrooms, workshops, etc.? All that actually carries about 20 marks. So 100 marks for fourth. Then fifth criteria is student support. Now, what is the kind of support mechanism you have? Do you give fees waiver? Is there any support, scholarship from the private agencies, from governmental agencies? That they ask, that is 50 marks. How many of your students go from UG to PG, PG from to PhD? That is about 30 marks. How many of them get job? What kind of placements are there? Is it from MNCs? What is the gross salary? What is the median salary? All that they are asking. So that is about 30 marks or 25 marks. Then student participation. Now, how many students have won medals and prizes in Olympics or in international events? How many of them have got Arjuna awards or other national awards? At least at the state level. Don't please project only at the intra-college affairs. That will not really be given any weightage at all. So students' participation and laurel winning at the state level, national level, and international level, that carries about 50 marks for that. So have more, encourage students to excel in sports, cultural activities, and all that. So make them participate in design competitions and engineering related other competitions, and that will carry about 50 marks. Your paper contest, a quiz, and other programs also. Then alumni engagement. So please, it is not enough if the alumni offer service. They should be able to give money also. If they give more than 25 marks, 25 lakhs, it carries full weightage. So make your alumni contribute for the growth of the college. So that is a problem with most of self-financing colleges. They will not be able to mobilize money, but you will have to lure students to contribute. And probably some of the staff members who are the old students of PSNA probably will be able to give them more and see that the college gets more weightage in this criteria. Then sixth is institutional vision and leadership. Every institution has got a vision, mission, and all that. You'll have to revisit the vision, the revised context, the post-COVID situation. Probably you may have to revisit the vision, mission, etc. So we will do that one. Then we have to have a perspective plan, then strategic plan developed. Within 5 years' time, what is that we will be able to do? Within 15 years' time, how will PSNA be? After 25 years, how will PSNA be? So they are asking for all such documents. So you have a participatory approach for development of a prospective plan. See that there is a plan proposal. It should be approved by the management. It should be approved by the governing council. It should be put in the website also. Then faculty empowerment strategies. What is the kind of, do you organize any FTPs? Of course, with COVID, every day they have only webinars. Apart from that, do you give any training? Are teachers asked to spend some time in the industries? Are they given hands-on experience in industries? What is the kind of training teachers are given? Is there any MOU with industry for training the faculty members? They are asking such things. So empowerment strategies. And then how do you mobilize your finance? Is it only through fees or through donations or through some philanthropists or through governmental grants? What is the kind of mobilization? Now, how do you actually do the auditing? Is it local fund auditing or the management auditing, or it is an AG auditing? All that they are asking. Do you have IQAC? Of course, IQAC is there in many institutions, but the moment accreditation is over, IQAC becomes inactive. IQAC suddenly becomes active only when the institution goes for re-accreditation. Till then, there is not much activity in IQAC at all. I do not know about PSNA, but this is what is generally happening. But we should have a vibrant IQAC in place. Okay, then last is seventh criteria, institutional values and social responsibilities. So 50 marks for that. You should do green audit, gender audit, social audit, all that. And then you should be able to celebrate national days like Constitution Day, then Ambedkar Jayanti, Gandhi Jayanti, Bharatiyar Dinam, and all that. Then best practices. There are institutions which do not have even practices, but Knack is asking for best practice. So any practice which really is imbibed with the students and faculty, which really enhances the quality of the students and the institution, that is regarded as a best practice. Please do not say that herbal garden is a best practice. Okay, such things are being said by institutions. So have some best practice, institutionalize a practice. What the practice in a classroom can be brainstormed, institutionalized, and then imbibed by the institution, and then it can be projected as the best practice of the institution. Then institutional distinctiveness. An institution, for example, 25 years old institution like PSNA, what is its distinctive? In which area have you contributed? Suppose if they ask, you should be able to say, so distinctive contribution of the institution to the domain or to the local, that should be really explained. That is actually 20 marks. So again, 100 marks. So if you look at the class 3 criteria, it is only 100 marks. But please remember about the previous thing. So the last, fourth is 100. Fifth is also 100, and sixth is also this one. Now, if you look at what exactly are the differences, you may ask me. I'll try to just finish it in another 5 to 10 minutes. So letter of intent was the earlier thing. Now institutional information for quality assurance. Once IAQA is accepted, you cannot change the data. Student strength or staff strength or projects, the number of gates and all that. If data is given, you can't change any figures. So after getting the SSR ready, go in for IAQA submission. Key aspects, 34, 32. Then 300 questions were there. Now it is 137. No hard copy submission. No evaluative report of the departments. Data verification is there. Student satisfaction survey is there. Benchmarking is there. Now peers are selected only through computers. That's what they say. Peer team report. Earlier they used to be they used to give it to the principal. Now it is restricted only to qualitative metrics. There is no peer team document. See, there is a penalty if more than 15% deviation is found, because for the same college will give different figures. For NBA, one figure. For NIRF, another figure. For ASHE, there will be third figure. And for NAC, there will be fourth figure. It should all coincide. It is the era of big data analytics. People can easily find it out. Staff strength, don't give it as 120 in one place, 150 in another place, 200 in another place, and 250 in another place, like that. Okay, there are institutions who have done and got caught also. So please don't do that. So this is what actually happens. So the need of the hour, I would say, is you must have a curriculum framework. I suggest that you go for education 4.0. You must have a relevant curriculum, updated curriculum. Flexibility should be there. Uniqueness should be there. You must have cross-cutting issues included. You should be able to focus on employability and skill development. Focus on value-based and value addition component. Stakeholder satisfaction should be there. There should be an academic calendar. Novel teaching methodology should be there. Transparent, foolproof examination system should be there. Sustained quality research should be there. IPR awareness, effective linkages with society, good infrastructure, incentive for students, governance should be there. Decentralized participatory governance, strategic plan should be there. Academic administrative audit should be there periodically, at least once in 2 years. Nurturing of good practices should be there. Distinctiveness should be there. Green practices should be there. So all that will be needed. If you need all this, you should have commitment. You must have team building. You must be planning for the quality assurance activity. There should be institutional quality model. There should be willingness on the part of the teachers to adopt to changes. We should all be able to march towards excellence through strategic planning and meet challenges. Please remember one thing. Unless the institution really takes care to mend its ways, it cannot become best. The best way to predict the future is to create it. Ensure that you will all be able to create a new future with the kind of involvement that we have. So with this, again, I'll say that good luck for institution, which is really going for Knack in the next thing. So my time is up. I hope I have just given a kind of run through of the Knack exercise. What has to be covered in one day, I have tried to cover in about 1 hour, less than 1 hour. I do not know whether I have done justice. Let's see. I look forward for any clarifications if there are any.
Thank you very much, sir. It's a great presentation. It covers almost everything within very short span of time. And there are a few questions that appears in the chat box of YouTube live.
Yeah. Can you read?
Yeah, I will read. Yeah. So one is Mr. Rajaram from Sairam College has asked one question. Please tell us about pre-qualifier. We are not familiar with it.
Yeah. Pre-qualifier is about 30%, sir. Out of the 70% quantitative metrics, you should have got 30% marks. Only then the team will visit. If that 30% is even 30% of this 70% is not really attained, then you will not have the team visit at all. So they insist on some minimum marks to be obtained by the institution in the quantitative metrics. That is actually called pre-qualifier.
In the college.
Then next.
Next question, Dr. Sanmu Sundaram from Sri Saraswati Tyagaraja College, Pollachi.
Oh, across the college.
Yes, yes.
Cholunga.
Sir, yeah, is IQAC a capable body to administer various academic educational institutions in the institutions?
Sir, administration is done only by principal, not by IQAC. Okay, IQAC is only to have a eye on the quality. Okay, don't compete with your principal, sir. Principal is the ultimate authority. Okay, you cannot usurp the powers of the principal. IQAC is working under principal. Okay, so let it be make it. Chairman of the IQAC is principal. Okay,
Yes.
IQAC should not sit above the head of the principal and give problem to the principal.
Yes.
Next.
Sir, next question, Ms. Janita. She is asking, mention some training programs organized by the government for enriching IQAC knowledge.
Sir, every other university is having. Every third day you get a circular on IQAC training. Knack is giving. Every academic staff college is giving. Okay, every colleges are. College is doing. Many IQACs are arranging such trainings. It has become the order of the day. So it's not a new thing at all. Every third day you see circulars. You need something. Probably you have my contact ID. I'll post you with all the updates. Then next.
Next question is Pradeep Kumar. Can you give some examples of extension activities?
Sir, you can have animal camp, health camp, and all that for the uplift from the villages. You can do it. If yours is a electrical engineering department, just do an energy audit for a village. Okay. If it is actually a sociology department, go into the analysis of the social aspects of the village. Okay. If it is civil engineering, you go into water conservation strategies. Like that, or your go for this whether with locally available materials are you able to have a building constructed. Okay, so with whatever little is there, see there you can have awareness programs, cycle jadas, street plays, so technical inputs also, like what I have said. So it can be variety, 10 to 15 different types of activities can be there. You can have a quiz for a village school. You can have a laboratory session for village school, a digital awareness. Okay, how to actually book LPG through a cell phone. Okay, now LPG booking is only through cell phone, is it not? Train a group of village women for that. That's this thing. Digitalization is one thing. So digital awareness, online, downloading, teach them. Okay, all that is an external activity. So address the needs of the surrounding population. That is enough. So that is what is needed. Okay, sir.
Thank you, sir.
If you go to people, okay, they give you money. That is consultancy.
Yes.
Okay, that is extension. If they come to you, it is consultancy. If you go to them, it is extension.
Extension. Thank you, sir, for the nice answer. Next question is Dr. KV Geeta, SRNM College, Satur. How and when students' data will be submitted to Knack for student satisfaction survey? Please explain the procedure involved.
No, student satisfaction survey, we don't have to give any data. Only they will, the moment you submit your SSR, next minute student satisfaction survey will start. Okay, they will contact at random. Okay, so please have the correct mail ID of the students, and please ask the students also to be in touch with you, because you can have a watch on the kind of feedback they are giving to them. Of course, you should not force the students to give the feedback and all that. So 21 questions are there. So how you can have 2 or 3 trials. It is there in the website also. So please sensitize the students on the kind of questions they ask, how they have to respond also, because students are well versed with WhatsApp, Twitter, Instagram, and all that. They may not be able to answer 21 questions in a questionnaire. So probably they may need some training also. You can sensitize them. It is a required, sir, 60 marks. 60 into 4 is 240 marks. So it is not like a previous system. Better sensitize the students on student satisfaction survey. I have seen in many colleges, they have lost marks because students have not responded. Even after 10 days, only 10% of the students have responded, because it will come to their mind. We would not have signed their observation notes. We would not have signed their workshop practice and all that. all that will come to their mind. So they'll say that போட்டு பார்க்கறான், நீ போட்டு பார்த்தல நான் பண்றேன் அப்படின்றான். So அதனால please see that the students submit their feedback to the Knack. That really carries weightage. Next, sir.
Thank you, sir. Sir, could you please throw some light on to address the diversity issue? Knack has introduced a provision of 5% optional and non-applicable metrics.
இது இருக்கு sir.
Many people have a lot of doubt in this.
Sir, there are a lot of doubts. Of course, I do not know whether I can clear everything here, but you
Yes.
can't see it is only in 7th criteria. You cannot have any this thing. There are certain criteria which can be opted. For example, முன்னாடி பாத்தீங்கன்னா like they have said that students from other states, that was actually an optional metric. Now they have removed that also. See that whether for PSNA you are not going to have students from other states. Of course, there may be students from Kerala, there may be students from Northeast and all that. Across the country, you cannot have. So such parameters you can, for example, rare books, they were asking. Okay, so what is the kind of rare books? How many rare books are there? Tiruvallure ezhuna Tirukkural. Okay, Jesus ezhuna Bible. Krishnare ezhuna Bhagavad Gita. Can we have all this? It is very difficult. So, I mean, your institution is only 20 years old and they are asking for 100 years old books to be purchased. How do you get? So now they are asking what all not relevant to you, to your institution, you can opt out. For example, some institutions may not concentrate on research. So some of the, for example, how many patents you have? Suppose if there is a question, and if you are not very much well versed with patents and all that, you can leave it. Okay, so there are optional metrics. Knack has given. Unfortunately, I don't have right now the data. Probably I'll mail you. It is there in the Knack website also. To the extent of nearly 3%, you can really have the, you can opt out the metrics. That is the thing. Next. But there is no opting out for the 7th criteria. And you can opt out in the first, second. And for in a particular, criteria, to the not more than the 20 marks, you can opt out. There is some kind of stipulation is there. So as a whole, 50 marks. And our particular criteria, not more than 20 marks. Some limitation is there. Okay. There is a new change from January of this year. So look into the latest guidelines. If you want, you give me a mail. I'll post you the relevant things. Next. Anything else? Hello? Akhilash.
Sir. Sir, thank you. This is the last question. Okay.
Yeah.
Sir, you have said about every college must have an active IQAC. The
Yes,
IQAC has become active just 6 months before another accreditation committee visits. In order to avoid that.
IQAC become active?
Yeah, it's active, sir. It's active. It is already active. And we would like to know, how it can be made so functional, how it can be made so active. And you please, this is one of the gray area because a lot of administration and other sort of things are there.
Sir,
how we can contribute in a better way?
Sir, every department you have one IQAC representative, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay. And you just like there should be for example, there should be data collection on the students. Then there should be actually workload allotment. What is the feedback from the students about the portions that is completed? Then actually at the end of the semester, analysis of the semester results. So like that, periodic meeting of the IQAC should be there. And then for any study that you are taking within the college, there should always be a kind of analysis. And there should be that should be placed before the principal and the management for action. And you have to take an action report also and submit back to them. So there should be continual activity. Okay. So in terms of teaching, in terms of research, in terms of extension, what is that the college is doing? So IQAC should really have a kind of monitoring role on this. It is not like a boss, a kind of peer evaluation that only you're doing. So you should facilitate sometimes the happenings in the college, and at the same time should be a good advisor to the principal, telling what the shortcomings are, where we need to improve upon. So like it's a kind of fellow friend, philosopher and guide role IQAC has to play in an institution, and many institutions are having functional IQACs in the college. I'm sure that PSNA also has a vibrant functional IQAC inside the campus. I wish that becomes much more active. Thank you, sir.
Yes, sir. Thank you very much, sir. Sir, actually, it is a really, really very great eye-opener session for many people. I think it has given a lot of understanding about the revised accreditation framework, really. And so we are very thankful to you, and great at this moment of very tight schedule. I think I understand that you are very busy with many webinars. So you have provided time to us. Thank you very much, sir. And also, I also take this opportunity to thank our chairperson, Srimati Dhanalakshmi Ammal, and our active, very vibrant pro-chairman, sir, and beloved principal, sir, for all those who had given permission to organize this webinar in a nice way so that the faculty community and higher educational institutions will get benefit. And I also would like to thank Dr. Bala.
How many participants?
How many participants? 211. So 211 participants are there. Actually, 550 registered people registered across India.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I thank Dr. Balasubramanian and our webinar team, Dr. Jai Ganesh, Dr. Gopi Anand, Dr. Rajkumar, and Dr. Kupusamy. And I thank everyone who is involved in this process. Thank you so much, all of you. Thank you, listeners. Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Thank you.
So, Dambi.